After nearly 2 years of war, Israel and Hamas may be closer than ever to ending their battles. Hamas has agreed to release Israeli hostages, but says some other terms of U.S. President Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan need to be negotiated. Now, despite the caveats, Palestinians and Israelis are expressing faith in the deal.
Now we have hope. We see that President Trump is very determined to bring the hostages back home.
يعني إن شاء الله كل الأسرى بيطلعوا وهي عرس لكل فلسطين. مش بس يعني فرحة إلنا إحنا كل فلسطين بتفرح.
Trump is warning Hamas to move quickly to accept the deal, saying all bets will be off if there's a delay past Trump's deadline of 6 p.m. tomorrow. Talks are set to take place with the goal of closing gaps between the parties. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner are reportedly headed to Cairo for talks with Hamas and Israeli delegations tomorrow. CBC's Paul Hunter has more from Tel Aviv.
A lot of the details are kind of vague, hence the kind of mix of optimism, pessimism. Might this happen? Will one side renege? Is the other side just trying to punt this down the calendar for more time? It's hard to tell because this has all happened so quickly and the details are still to be sorted. So what are these details, right? Let's give a listen first to a sense of that from Hamas. Here's a spokesman from Hamas on its view of some of those details still to be sorted.
If we release all of the war prisoners, the war gonna stop. The second condition, the Israeli should withdraw from Gaza Strip. The third condition, there is all of the humanitarian help for the people in Gaza because they are suffering.
Yes, but once again, right? Many details still to be sorted. Last night we heard from U.S. President Donald Trump, who seemed quite optimistic that this was going to lead to a positive outcome. In light of some of the details still to be sorted, he just posted on his Truth Social, and I'm going to read what Donald Trump wrote. I appreciate that Israel has temporarily stopped the bombing in order to give the hostage release and peace deal a chance to be completed. Hamas, writes Trump, must move quickly or else all bets will be off. I will not tolerate delay, he says, which many think will happen, or any outcome where Gaza poses a threat again. Let's get this done fast, says Trump. Everyone will be treated fairly. And speaking of reaction, we also have some, of course, from Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu was said last night to have been caught by surprise by this. He put out a statement from his office late last night. Let's give that a read as well. Here we go. Writes Netanyahu, in light of Hamas's response, Israel is preparing to immediately implement the first phase of Trump's plan for the immediate release of all hostages. We will continue to work in full cooperation with the president and his team to end the war in accordance with the principles set forth by Israel that are consistent with Trump's vision. So, what do we have at the end of all that? We have what seems like steps forward, what seems like a positive response from Hamas. Certainly people now think they dare to hope that the hostages may be released if all these details are sorted. So it's quite complicated, despite the news of the past 24 hours.
CBC's Paul Hunter in Tel Aviv. Sajan Gohel is the International Security Director at the Asia-Pacific Foundation, and he offers his assessment of the plan and its likelihood of success.
Well, I think, Natasha, caution has to be preserved because we have got close to deals being arranged, tentative talks looking like it would lead to progress. There was even the President Biden three-phase process in terms of resolving this particular conflict, and we didn't get past the first stage. So we have to keep in mind that there are still a lot of obstacles that stand in the way of this war ending. This primary step is for Hamas to release the Israeli hostages, the ones that are alive, as well as the bodies of those that are deceased. That's going to be the key litmus test in everything. If we don't get to that stage, nothing else will happen.
Let's talk about that then, because we have made progress, quote unquote, in the sense that Hamas has agreed to at least that part of U.S. President Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan. Do we have a sense of when the hostages, both living and dead, need to be released by?
So Hamas, as you said, has agreed to release those hostages, but they have caveated that to say that it's going to be subject to further negotiations and certain conditions being met on the ground. So the finer details are going to have to be ironed out, and that also will then require Israel to agree to that, and then also the United States. I think there are some concerns that Israel has expressed, because Hamas's statement also spoke about the fact that it wants to play a role in negotiations over the long-term future in Gaza. And also Hamas hasn't made any commitment to lay down arms, which are two major red lines for Israel. So there's all these different aspects, Natasha, that are yet to be resolved and get clarification on. And that's, I think, why there is this hesitancy.
Sajjan Gohel is the International Security Director at the Asia Pacific Foundation.